beautiful group of women. I have a question. Who here has ever eaten something sweet to make yourself feel better? All right, okay. You know, if only I had that cookie, everything would be fine. You know, give me that kind of Ben and Jerry's, and everything's going to be great. So everyone at some point has turned to a pint of ice cream after a bad breakup, after a crappy day at work, instead of doing your to-do list. But how many of you have noticed that after you had those cookies or that pint of ice cream that you actually didn't feel better? Yeah, that eating that actually made you feel worse. And that, you know, on top of the sadness and stress and overwhelm that you felt to begin with, now you feel exhausted and useless and disappointed in yourself. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the power of sugar, how it affects us, why it has such a strong hold on us, and what we can do to free ourselves from it. Which is great. We're going to talk about some of the powerful cycles of sugar, and there are quite a few. We're going to talk about 3 of them today. And then I'm going to give you some tips so you don't fall into the cycles or stay stuck in them. So the first cycle is the reward cycle. We are programmed to believe that happiness is in a cookie. And there's a lot going on here. You know, we're raised to believe that sugar is a reward. So, you know, if you're good and you eat all your dinner, then you'll get dessert. You know, did anyone else have a doctor that gave a lollipop at the end of the visit? Yeah, a dentist. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, our culture is filled with advertising telling us that happiness is in a bottle of Pepsi. It comes in 31 flavors. So there's a lot of external conditioning going on. There's some internal recognition as well. Sugar actually activates the same reward circuits in the brain as drugs and alcohol, which is what leads to addiction and why we feel we need a fix for, and, you know, not the first cookie, but the second, the third, the fourth, you know. So when we eat sugar, we get a hit of these hormones, serotonin, beta endorphins, dopamine, all these feel-good chemicals dancing around in our bodies. You're all familiar with the sugar rush, right? You know, you get the burst of energy, it feels really good, but, you know, it doesn't sustain a good mood, and it's often followed by the sugar crash, which doesn't feel very good. And if we're doing that over and over, then there's a lot of, you know, end up feeling bloated and putting on weight, and it really doesn't feel good. Still, the association that we make is not to the sugar crash. It's not to the after effects. It's to the sugar rush. So the mental association that we form is that sugar makes us happy. When the truth is that sugar is a toxin, and it's causing disease and weight gain and obesity, and it's making us irritable, stressed, and depressed. So has anyone ever felt stressed or depressed and thought that the answer was in a box of cookies? Yes. Okay, did you find out that it wasn't? And did you feel more stressed and depressed after? Yeah. And it's not just in cookies, you know, it's in everything these days. So, you know, we're up against some lifelong programming and some pretty intense body chemistry that's reinforcing it. So what can you do to break free from this cycle? I want to give you a tool, a mindset shift. So if you believe that sugar is a reward, the idea of cutting it out seems pretty awful, right? Almost like a punishment. So I invite you to shift your mindset and stop thinking of sugar in terms of cutting it out and start thinking of crowding it out. So what do I mean? I mean, focus on all of the amazing, delicious, healthy foods that nourish and uplift you. You know, make a list of your favorite foods that aren't packed with sugar, and focus on how amazing it is that you get to eat those and bring more of those into your life. You know, also doing it all at once can be kind of scary. One of the first things that I do with my clients is I replace some of the sugary foods that they're eating with some healthier recipes. So, you know, I'm not yanking their security blanket away. And so I have a bunch of great recipes. I have a cookbook. I'm going to be raffling that off later. And, you know, when you focus on healthy, delicious, and nourishing foods, and you start to feel energized and vibrant in your body, you start to build a totally new reward cycle. So the second cycle is a deprivation cycle. So has anyone here ever been on a diet and started out really strong, really committed, but after, you know, a few weeks or even a few days, you know, ended up checking the diet and diving into a piece of chocolate cake? Anyone ever done that? Yeah. So what's going on here? You know, we start out strong, in control, we think, I got this, and then something snaps, you know, willpower is out the window, and we're knee-deep in a gallon of ice cream. You know, we ended up feeling bloated and depressed and promising to be better tomorrow. We do this over and over again. Anyone ever done that? Be better tomorrow? Okay. So the problem is that most diets are deprivation diets. So either you're not eating enough or you're not eating in the right balance. And what happens then is that your blood sugar drops. This is also when we get a little cranky. You know, when you get hungry, you get cranky. It's because your blood sugar's low. So your hormones are out of balance. And then your cravings get so intense that you have to check the diet and, you know, binge on dessert. So the key is to keep your blood sugar balanced. And I have a 3-step system that I take my clients through to keep their blood sugar balanced. I'm going to give the first step to you today, and that's to have all 3 macronutrients in every meal and every snack. Your 3 macronutrients are quality protein, healthy fats, and complex carbs. You know, learning how to balance my blood sugar changed so much for me, because I finally got that it wasn't about willpower. It wasn't that something was wrong with me. I wasn't strong enough. It was actually my body chemistry, and that gave me a lot of freedom, and I stopped beating up on myself so much. So no more dieting. Diets set you up to fail. Balancing your hormones sets you up to succeed.